petition processes I've been involved in down here in 17 years I've been in government. 16 and a half years I've been in government. So this isn't a new process, but the world is changing on this issue. I'm happy to answer any questions. And of course, the folks who are here, those who are spokespersons for their organizations or businesses are happy to address you as well. Someone have a question?
Mayor, I have a question. When you do these types of petition drives with the city, what percentage of the signatures do you expect will actually be verified?
That's a really good question. There is a number, and it happens to be, for this particular one, 17,269 signatures. So it's a fairly low bar. However, depending on the method used of gathering signatures, a high number of those signatures can be thrown out, or will be thrown out. This is only City of Houston residents. So if you live in Bel Air or Westview or in the county, they wouldn't count. You have to, you're a registered voter, and you have to provide the information so that we can clearly identify you. The signatures had to have been collected from 3 days after the ordinance was passed, which is the day it was posted, which is why today is the turn-in date. And my understanding is that petitions were flying around before we ever passed the ordinance, and so if it is proven that the people signed, and these signatures have to be notarized, so if there's evidence that people signed fraudulently, those petitions would be thrown out, and there might be other repercussions there as well. And so, depending on the ordinance, some of them have a high, or depending on the petition, some of them have a high rate of good signatures. Some of them have just been a mess. In fact, there's a previous petition around the issues of homelessness that we have, because it could not go on the ballot this year. It couldn't go on the ballot until next year. I have not authorized any overtime to count it. And it is one of the sloppiest petitions we've ever seen, and so it's a very slow and tedious process, but we will count all the way through. So.
Mayor, are you concerned about a negative perception of Houston as a campaign occurs as to whether...
If I have to ask I'm sorry, if I have to ask the police to help escort people, I'll do that, but go ahead and ask your question.
Are you concerned about a negative perception of Houston elsewhere as the city wages a campaign as to whether to discriminate or not discriminate?
It depends on whether the level of public rhetoric continues in the way that those who've been proponents of the petition have started out. In all of my conversations with the business community, that's one of their concerns, that they certainly don't want anything to happen that would make Houston, which has suddenly become a rising star around the United States. Forbes calls us the next great global city. Anything that would negatively impact our perception around the United States or around the world. If we handle this in a focused manner where people are truthful and open about what is actually in the ordinance and what is not, I don't think it would be hurtful. And certainly, since I have every expectation that this petition drive will be defeated, if they have sufficient signatures in November, then we will have shown that Houston does not support discrimination.
Mayor, something off topic here. With respect to the...
Okay, if you have something you want to talk about, other than this, can we get to the end of this first?
Real quick, don't you see...
Is there, and which media outlet are you with? Is there any other members of the media here with questions? No more questions about this? Okay.
With respect to the immigrant children who are coming through Houston, what is the city committing in terms of resources and money to assist the federal government with the transportation?
To my knowledge, we have no immigrant children who are coming directly to Houston. They are transiting through the Houston airport system. We operate the airport every day, so it's no And this is a humanitarian crisis that I hope that the city of Houston would engage in assisting our sister and brother mayors along the border, who are really the ones who are bearing the brunt of this, because as undocumented immigrants get picked up, they are held locally along the border, and that is, having talked to some of my fellow mayors, it's huge strain on their resources.